Hi, Dean Sweetman here from Tithely. I'm going to talk to you today about one of my favorite subjects, and that's how to receive an offering. You'd be amazed how many times, and you've probably been in yourself, you've been in a meeting and someone gets up there to take the offering and it's an absolute train wreck. And that's what we don't want to happen for you. If you're a church planter, you're growing your church, whatever it is, we're going to take some time now to talk about what are the components, what are the things that are going to make the offering a really powerful part of your church's experience week in and week out. So I think the first thing, and if I'm talking to you as a leader, the first thing that really has to happen as the leader is that you need to get a revelation about money. Pastor, leader, do you struggle with giving? Is there a begrudging spirit when the offering comes along? Have you been to a conference and been asked to give and that's kind of grating on the inside of your heart? I think if you're going to raise money, if you're going to expect the people that you lead to give to your church or ministry, you have to have that revelation. And so it's like whenever there's an opportunity to give, you've got to be the first person, hand up, reach for the phone, let's give. And I think as the leader and you having that revelation about money, I think that trickles down and flows into the spirit of your congregation. The next thing I'd say to you is that you have to know where your church is at when it comes to stewardship and generosity. You know, if you're starting out, you get the chance to create the culture. Giving is culture. Stewardship is culture that has to be created. Now, I've been in plenty of church settings where there isn't a culture of generosity, where there is no culture of understanding of stewardship, because that culture has not been created. Oftentimes, you'll get people with a poverty mindset, that there's not enough money, there's not enough people, there's not enough this. You gotta blow that mindset out of the water, and you've got to establish and create a culture of giving, generosity, blessing, sowing and reaping. As you put that culture in your church, when it comes time to ask and start using the Bible and teaching people about giving, you're going to have cultivated the soil of your people's hearts to just get right in the deep end and with you. The third thing I want you to think about is the how. You know, in this day and age, and this is not just a shameless plug, but if you were to take an offering, if I was to take an offering to everybody watching right now and I said, hey, I want you to get your checkbook out, we're going to give. Be honest, I bet you if we did a survey, we'd find out not many people out there could find their checkbook in a minute and go and give. But I said to you, hey, if you've got your mobile phone, get that out and let's make a contribution. Every single person watching this video could get their mobile phone. And so I would tell you that you must have a digital giving strategy, and it has to be digital first. Forget envelopes, forget buckets and cash. Yeah, you're going to have some of that lying around the church, but you want to go with a digital first offering, and I'm telling you that changes everything. And in some other videos coming up, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that. In the offering moment though, maybe you've got 5-6 minutes, you've got to cast some kind of vision. You've got to exhort the congregation. You've got to throw out a wide, broad, positive net and encourage the church that this is the moment. Giving is just an extension of worship. We know that theologically, that part of the worship in a church setting is part of the giving is part of our worship. And so don't be apologetic. Don't try and brush the offering under the carpet. Don't hand it off to someone else. As the leader, stand up big and bold and cast the vision and tell people what an exciting moment this is that we all get to sacrifice, to give back, to give to God something because He has given us so much. Cast vision in the offering. I always want to invite people to participate in the offering. Don't apologize. Don't just say, look, this isn't for everyone, and if you feel like you should give, come strong and bold. That leads me to my next point. Use Scripture. I mean, this isn't me inventing how to do an offering. The Bible is clear, and in an upcoming lesson, I'm going to share about using Scripture to take offerings, but it's absolutely critical that you use the Bible every single time you take an offering. Jesus talks more about money than any other subject, any other. Money right throughout from Genesis to Revelation is talked about up front. God does not mind people talking about money. God is not scared of you talking about money. But so often pastors shrink back for whatever reason. Maybe they were raised in a culture that they didn't want to talk about money openly in church. You've got to break that. I would almost call that a curse for people and pastors who are afraid to talk about finances in church. You've got to break whatever that is, and you've got to use the Bible, and you've got to come bold in front of your church and start talking about the realities of what the Bible teaches about money. The other thing I want you to do is share stories. You know, in your church, there's going to be testimonies that are just waiting to be shared. People that have had an incredible experience of giving into your church and ministry and the blessing that they've seen in return. It may have not been a monetary blessing, even though we know that happens biblically, but they just can share incredible stories, what the church has done for their life and their family as a result of sowing. And we know what the scripture says. Where your money is, that's where your heart is. And one of the reasons you want people giving into your church is you want their heart with you. You want their heart in that vision, and money connects people to that vision. So I would find the testimonies and the stories in your church and have people come up 2-3 minutes and just share what the giving has done for them and their family in giving into your church. The other thing I want you to do is in the moment, you've shared some scripture, you might have had a story, but I call it capturing the moment. I want to slow everything down, and as I'm talking to the congregation, it's like, church, now we're going to get ready to give. And I like to ask people to hold their phone, because most of the people that I'm in church with taking offerings, they're giving with a mobile device, or you can take their envelope if they've got one, and church, we're going to pray. And I want to bring that whole thing back into a spiritual dynamic to where people are, and as a minister, as a leader, these people are sacrificially giving to church right now. This is such a above and beyond thing. This is way out of the boundaries of what the world teaches, what the world teaches to keep, to hold on, to use for ourselves. The Bible teaches to give and let go. The way in which Christians get is giving. The way in which the world get is keeping. So we've taken people on this journey, and in the moment, I want to capture that moment. I want it to be a sacred moment. I never want to get one offering go by where there's not a sacred moment, where we go to prayer and we thank God for the blessings that He's put in our life. We've asked God to bless the giver, and we just allow that offering moment to breathe just for a few seconds. And even as you pause just like that, people will feel the brevity and the sense of the presence of God in the giving moment. A couple more things. You want to express thankfulness. You want to thank people. After you've taken the offering, say, church, we so appreciate it. Every single week, never back off from expressing thankfulness to the people that are giving. The last thing I want you to do, especially in big Christmas, Easter, you're going to have a lot of visitors. I used to like giving a visitors a pass. Sometimes I say, look, if this is not your church and you're just visiting, go give back to your local church. You're welcome to give, but I don't want you to feel any pressure to give as a visitor. So there's the kind of 10 keys around an offering. I've set it all up there. Kind of go back, go through them, think about how you do it yourself, and I think it'll really help the offering taking moment in your service. God bless. We'll see you next time.